Hi everyone. First of all, I just need to say I have a bit of a cold, so excuse my voice. So the gingerbread biscuit dough has been resting in the fridge overnight, and now it's time to bake. So I took out two lumps of dough here. There's still plenty in the fridge. I'd say this dough would make at least 200 biscuits. Now, so one of them is for making biscuits like for eating, and the other one I'm going to make slightly thicker biscuits that I want to hang in the windows and decorate. So with the thinner ones, you just use a rolling pin, roll it out. You want it quite thin, and the most important thing is that it's as even as possible, because otherwise some of the biscuits might burn in the oven. So, but you choose the thickness that you want. I prefer it thin, because then they crack really nicely when you eat them. Now I've rolled out my dough. Sorry, I forgot to say that it's a good idea to put a little bit of flour underneath, just so the dough doesn't stick to the table. But be careful not to put too much, because you don't want floury biscuits. And then you just use any biscuit cutters that you have. Of course, it's nice to use the ones with kind of Christmas theme, like I have a little Christmas tree or a star. I want to use this angel as well, but not the star, but anything you have at home. And then you just press it down into the dough and do it as close as you can, so that you use up the maximum amount of dough. Then of course you can use it again, but I would recommend to put it in the fridge, because it's just much easier to use when it's cold. So I'll just keep doing this, put it on a baking tray, and then bake it in the oven at between 180 and 200 degrees, depending on your oven. If you have a fan oven, then 180 is fine, degrees Celsius, I should say, and for only 5 minutes. In some ovens you might need 7-8 minutes. It really depends, but I would definitely check them after 5 minutes, because you don't want burnt biscuits. It just doesn't taste nice. So I filled the tray with biscuits now. I'm going to bake them. Some parts of the dough was a bit thinner, so I placed the thin biscuits in the middle of the tray. Don't ask me why, but for some reason it gets less hot there. So like if you place the thin ones on the edge, it's more likely that they'll burn. So place your thicker biscuits on the edge of the tray. And these should be ready in about 5 minutes. So the biscuits are done. They took exactly 5 minutes actually. But yeah, you know your own oven, so the time could differ a bit. Then you just transfer these to a cooling rack, and leave them cool completely before eating, so that they can get nice and hard. And now we're gonna make the slightly bigger biscuits. Now, so I've rolled out the other lump of dough, and this one is quite a lot thicker than the other one, so nearly 1/2 centimeter, I'd say. And for this one I like to use bigger biscuit cutters, so I have a bigger heart and a bigger angel as well. I might only use the heart actually today. And the reason I make it thicker is because I want to hang this up in the window, and for that they just need to be a bit thicker, because otherwise if they're too thin they're just gonna fall. Now that's all done. And just the final thing I'm going to do, because I want to hang them up, so they need a little hole then that I can put the thread through. So just using a chopstick or any round little stick that you have, just make a hole, and just remember it's going to shrink in the oven, so make the hole just a bit bigger than what it's finally going to be. In the end I made a few angels, just I couldn't fit another heart, but I could fit another angel. Now, like that. And these ones will probably need closer to 8 minutes or so in the oven, if the other ones took 5. But yeah, just keep checking so it doesn't burn. Now I just took these out of the oven, and the holes actually shrank a lot. So while they're still soft, I'll just go through them again with the chopstick to make sure I have a hole then for my string. So now to the really fun bit, which is when we decorate the big biscuits we made. So in this bag here, I have some icing that I made out of icing sugar, egg white, a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of water. You could adjust that yourself. For this much icing you need 1 egg white, 240 grams of icing sugar, and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and just like a few drops of water. I just keep adding until I get the texture that I like. You don't want it to be too runny, but not too hard either, especially if you want to be able to write something on the biscuits. So I'm just going to show you how I do it, is just to give you some ideas. Of course, this is when you can let your creativity flow. So as you can see, really any pattern will do, dots or squares, or you can write things on it as well. Actually, if you're making like a nice table setting, if you're having friends over, you could write your friends' names on it, or a nice little message. Or so here are just some ideas on how you could decorate your biscuits, but really there's no right or wrong. Do whatever you feel like. And now all we need to do is just to put a string through the biscuits, and then can hang them up in the window or somewhere. And of course any string will do. So I just found this brown kind of rustic looking string. So you just put it through the hole like that. And now you can hang it up in the window, or maybe on a door, or anywhere. So you see, very simple little Christmas decoration to do at home. Have a nice day. Bye.